Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today. My name is Alex Daredia. I help people buy, sell, and invest in Kern County. And today we have with us Mr. Arbizo out of our Century 21 office in Tulare County. So, Mr. Arbizo, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Alex. I'm excited to get to know you a little bit better and to let everybody know what's going on here in Tulare County.
Yeah. So the one thing that I wanted to put out there is I love this man's energy. He is going 1,000 miles per hour, never stops smiling, and he knows how to handle problems. Like I've called him when I'm in a bind, and he's helped me put out fires. So thank you for that, and I always appreciate our phone calls and conversations. So thank you.
Absolutely, you got to stay positive.
Hey, I couldn't agree more, man. Well, hey, why don't you tell us about yourself? And I know you sell real estate. So one of the big things I want to ask is, hey, why sell real estate and not go into lending?
Yeah, I don't even know if you know this, but I was in lending part-time.
I did not know that.
02, 03, 04, and 05. And that's when we had those products. They were called Ninas, no income, no job, no asset. And as long as it was a 75% LTV, as long as you had that, we could give you a loan, and it was legal to do. But guess what? That was part of the problem that got us into the situation of the housing bubble back then.
In 08.
In 08, yeah, 08, 09, and 10. But like I said, we were doing the 3-1 arms, the 5-1 arms, which we may look at now today, being that we're in a situation, but it's not the same situation, Alex. I've been doing this 15 years. I was in the grocery business for 13 years and the DSD business, which is direct store delivery, for 17 years. During that 17-year time frame, I had my real estate license for 10 of those 17 years. And I knew that I didn't want to be getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I just kind of figured that the real estate business, being that I have a type of personality, I know a lot of people, and you have to excuse me, I just did that. And I know a lot of people, but guess what? You could know a lot of people and be a good BSer and still not be good at this business. So my mom really pushed me to get into this business. And I've been blessed because for the last 5 years, I've been in this business full time, and I appreciate everything that I have. And I love working with people. And you're right, I love putting out fires.
Dude, I know some of the stories you tell me. I'm like, boy, how does this guy sleep at night, and wake up with a smile the following morning? So, right now that things are going, I think the mindset is one of the most important thing in our business right now, right? Because sales are down, numbers are down, interest rates up, buyers struggling, sellers are struggling. There's buyers left and right. I mean, everything is going sideways in the real estate world right now. Wouldn't you agree?
I would agree 100%. I had a deal that we had put together a couple of months ago. I had a very low VA appraisal. We were going to fight it, but guess what? In this business, time is of the essence, and you have to get things going. The more time you put in between now and it getting done, the more things can fall apart. We came up with a solution because the gentleman's lock was going to expire. We had to come up with a solution, and more times than not, it's all around money. Bottom line numbers. Always. And it's always about money. But guess what? I've been blessed enough to do enough transactions to where if I need to work on some monies somewhere, i.e. my commission, then guess what? I'm willing to do that and move on to the next transaction, because now look what's going on. We're like, here's a $239,000 house in Woodlake. No brainer. I have it 10,000 below fair market value and not one offer in 5 days. That's concerning.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, so before we carry on with a few questions that I have in mind is, why did you switch over from lending to real estate?
I figured I wanted to be out in the field. Okay. Obviously, when you're lending, it's helping people get to that point to where they can go house shopping. I wanted to be out and about. I wanted to be in front of people, helping people. And, the old adage is, I love helping people. I still get excited, Alex, till this day for every listing and every buyer that I have. And I can convey that to my people. So I just figured the real estate side was a little bit more tailor-made for my personality than the lending side.
Got it. Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more, man. Your energy is through the roof. Absolutely. Right. And as a buyer seller, that you need to lead that person when you're at that appointment. You need to point them in that right direction. I think, and our energy does a lot of that, right? Does a
100%
skills. So I absolutely agree. So let me ask you this, right? Hey, I am a buyer, and with current market interest rate hovering close to 7% and sales prices, I don't want to say all-time high anymore, but they're still pretty up there. Should I buy a house or rent a home right now?
You should buy a house. And this is the reason why.
Tell me why.
Historically, our interest rates are still low. Historically, yes, we got spoiled by 3.5, 2.9, 2.8. So now everybody has been spoiled. But guess what? Yeah. We do not have a crystal ball. We are slated to still, even in this market, appreciate. Now, maybe not 15 to 20% like we have been, which is unsustainable. But guess what? We are slated to do 5 to 8% in my area. Now, you have to understand that everything is driven, I should say, by supply and demand. So right now, the supply is at 2 months in Tulare County.
Okay.
A normalized market should have at least 6 months of inventory, a normalized market, if you will. So I keep telling people, look, they are coming out, the lenders are coming out with products to help these people buy downs. I was just telling you earlier, I'm on the phone or texting an appraiser or a lender every day now. I need to see what is going on in their world, because everything is all relative to what we do. So the lenders do have products on the table right now today to help these people buy down these rates. It may not be the cheapest, but then that's where education comes in, Alex. You have to educate these people. The normal person is not in their loan, but for maybe 5 to 7 years.
Okay. I agree.
So now with that in mind, could you refinance down the road? But that is the lender. I am not the lender. That's why I did not get into lending. That is their job, to educate these people that there are products on the market for them today. Because if we still climb as far as our appreciation, then if these interest rates climb again, then you're going up against appreciation prices and interest rates being higher than not. And now, if you've looked at the rental market is ridiculous. They call me daily, Vinny, do you have a rental? Do you have a rental? Do you have a rental? I don't know anybody who has rentals. So now you're up against that. Hey, these people that cannot qualify for these houses, now they have to go and try to commandeer a rental property. And guess what? That is not going to happen. So we are definitely in a conundrum right now.
Yeah. So definitely buy. Rents always keep going up. And from what I've seen, you buy and hold 10 years down the road, you're winning. However you want to look at it, refi or not, you're winning, right? You got that appreciation. Granted, not 20%, not 40%, but you still got that 5-10% appreciation in the books. So
absolutely.
I completely agree with that. So look, hey, in your opinion, how is the market doing today versus 2 years ago, and then in 2008, because you were there back in business, right?
Got it. So
tell me about that.
Yeah. So right now, like I said, this market right now is struggling because, Alex, we have never been here. We've never seen interest rates like this with a shortage of inventory. Now, back in 2008 and 2009, it was a whole different ballgame. Nobody had equity in their properties. They were getting these funky loans, if you will. And then the restraints on a buyer were not as stringent as they are now. So you had one person going out and buying 2 and 3 properties when they had no business buying 1 property. So of all of those things that were present in 2008, not one of those things is present today, Alex. So that makes me feel a little bit better about the current market.
A lot of skin in the game. A lot of skin in the game in the current market. I tell you that for sure.
Absolutely. But now what you're going to see now, you're going to see these cash buyers. These cash buyers are going to look like heaven because they could give a crap about the interest rate because they have cash. So now I read about 3 or 4 months ago, I want to say the company was BlackRock or BlackRock. They saw what was coming. They put aside $50 billion to start buying real estate. So that should tell you something right there.
Okay, so BlackRock is, I mean, they've been in the game. They buy a lot of multifamily, but I think they're definitely stepping into single family residence also for rental purposes, right? So once again, that goes back to the same point: buy real estate, be a homeowner, and you'll be far out ahead in 5-10 years game plan.
100%. But this market is definitely difficult right now because, like I said, we haven't been here. But, you know, I tell my clients, I was there in 08 and 09, and I'm going to tell you, in my professional opinion, this is what you should do.
Okay. So, hey, so I know you don't have a crystal ball. Where do you see rates going, and when do you think they'll stabilize, right? Or what number do you think stabilize at?
So hard. That is the $1 million question, Alex. But I will tell you
we need the answer to that. We need the answer to that, right?
If I had the answer, we'd be out in Tahiti somewhere, brother.
Right.
So it is really hard to say. In my professional opinion, something on Capitol Hill needs to be done because the way that the real estate market goes is the way the economy goes. Okay. How do you put the kibosh to this $1 trillion industry right now? Okay. I understand that there is inflation and they're trying to hedge that inflation, but some of the things that are helping us move through this inflation is the real estate market. So now you put the kibosh to the real estate market, we're really going to be in a sorry state. So I feel that this thing cannot go above 8. If we go above 8, they're really going to put the kibosh to us. And then our inventory is going to catch up to that 6-month mark that we talked about. And then we should transition into a buyer's market. I kind of feel that everybody is very skittish right now, and they're being very, very particular. And I understand that because I bought a house 3 years ago. I refinanced at 2.8, but now these kids are buying houses. They're trying to buy houses. And now you're talking 7.5%. What they were quoted 3 months ago is now costing them $1,000 more, Alex. So now I get it. I think that they cannot raise this thing past 8%. If that happens, we are going to be in a total different atmosphere for sure.
I personally think what's happening with the interest rate rising, the shortage of inventory, and they're trying to hedge the inflation. I don't think this is the right way of doing it, right? Because the real estate industry is such a big industry in the community, right? Because when you sell one house, how many people benefit from it? I think it's countless, right? You got escrow, home insurance, home warranty, me and you, the lenders, the home inspectors, Home Depot, Lowe's,
vendors,
furniture stores. I mean, it's a ripple effect in the industry, right? So I don't think this is the right way to hedge inflation. But I mean, I do agree where the prices were shooting up way too high, right? 40% appreciation in 2 years, that's unheard of. So I do agree with that part, but I don't think this is the right way to do it, but we'll see what happens, right? It's
correct.
Under our control. We just plug in, plug out, day in, day out, and do what we can. So if you are a seller right now, right? Well, let me back up. If you're a buyer, what advice would you give to a buyer right now?
As a buyer, shop those rates. You know what I mean? And then
I agree.
Shop those rates because, like I said, one company may have this buy down, program for you, and the other one might not have this program. I have another gentleman that works at the coast. He's got 60 different banks that he works with. So guess what?
Definitely something in his pocket.
Hey, education is knowledge. Knowledge is power. You need to find out. You need to shop these people and find out who's got the best rate, because this other one was you buy the rate down 2%. So if you can buy it from 7.5 to 5.5, man, how nice!
Home run, Brandon.
Yeah. So I think you're going to see more companies coming on with more loan programs in order to try and quell the fear that these buyers have.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. There definitely more programs need to be introduced, but I don't think there are going to be programs like they were in '08, right? Where people were doing business sideways. I think these are going to be more restrictive,
absolutely,
more looking out for buyers' best interest. So, well, let's switch gears, right? What about sellers? They are pulling their hairs out. Like, I have a client. We went on the market in mid-February, March, and I told him, hey, Mr. Client, let's list it at this price, get you sold. No, Alex, I think we can pull extra 20. No, Mr. Client, we cannot. This is about to tip over. Obviously, they didn't listen to me, unfortunately, and we're still on the market, right?
Yeah.
And now they dropped their price from 480,000 to 430,000.
Oh, wow.
Right. Versus where if they would have went with 450, right? When I had asked them to, they would have been cashed out already. Plus, he's been paying mortgages for these past month. And I'm like, you're just digging yourself in a bigger hole. I think you, in my opinion, as a seller, you need to price ahead of the market, not behind the market, or did not chase the market. Definitely. Right. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are exactly the same. I mean, I have people, luckily my other ones have sold, but now I have this little house that's priced, like I said, 10,000 less. Now I'm not in panic mode yet because we're only 5 days on the market, but back then we would have had 10 offers on
5 days.
Yeah.
That was non-existent back in the day. 5 hours.
We were selling them before we even hit the market, you know, and it was crazy, Lance. So I'm not panicked on this one, but I will tell, I do have a listing coming up soon. So I have already been proactive with my verbiage with these people. I said, look, we're adding a bedroom. We're just putting a wall up and it's going to add a bedroom, and that's going to add value to the property to the tune of 10 to 20 grand. Hard to say in this market, but guess what? I told them 339. And then yesterday I told them, guess what? Look what the rates did. We have to backpedal a little bit.
299
list. We're going to list it at 329. Are you guys on board? And luckily, price and motivation, Alex, and you know that's what sells a property. And guess what? They are motivated because they're tired of paying those bills per month on that property. And they said, you're the expert. We're following your advice. Now, if we put that house on the market, I told them, and the public does not react favorably to that price, you have to be motivated enough for me to drop that price where it needs to be. They said, we are on board 100%. Those sellers are invaluable to me.
Oh, I agree. I mean, you know, it goes a long way, right? They're listening to you, they're trusting you. And of course, we're giving our professional advice. You know, the minute they start listening to their family members or who's just, you know, I saw the news or start reading any of these news articles, I think it starts backfiring on them and on us as well, right? Because
absolutely. That's where you as the expert and your enthusiasm and giving them all the numbers, that's where they go, oh man, this guy is just too much. He really knows his stuff and he's really adamant about what we should do and the way we should go about it.
Yeah, you know, I went on a personal experience. I went on an appointment a week or so ago, let's say 2 weeks ago on a Friday. And they said, Alex, long story short, we want to list it for 429.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? The comps support the 429. You're absolutely right on the dot. But those comps are behind, you know, behind the market. You need to get ahead of the market, right?
Yeah.
So new comps, pending comps support 399. And they're like, that's $30,000 less than what we're asking. And I said, I'm not deciding the price. It's the market that's deciding the price.
Public,
right?
Correct.
So these are the numbers. Do you want to hang on to it? Right? Like you said, the motivation, right?
Yep.
Do you want to make that mortgage payment, or do you want to sell and move back or move on to the next chapter of your life? You know, they called those shots, and you know, he took my advice and he said, let's do it at 399. We went on market. We got one offer.
Okay.
Full price. We ran with it. We got second offer because we had multiple showings. So check out the second offer. Came in at 399, full price. Wow. But they asked for 3% closing costs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the closing costs are starting to make a comeback. And I told them, look, you sit on the market for any longer than a week, you're slashing 10, 15, maybe even $20,000 off your asking price, because that's what these buyers are looking for right now, you know? So it's tough.
Absolutely.
I agree.
It is definitely tough. And you know, the old adage, that first offer, more times than not, those are your buyers.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're motivated. They pulled the trigger. They came in strong. And believe it or not, we ran that house through the weekend. We kept it active. You know, we weren't completely in contract 100%. And they were like, so that way the seller doesn't feel a remorse either, right? Oh, we just went with the first offer, right?
Yes,
correct. They really tested the market, in my opinion. So what do you think is like the fair interest rate for a consumer in your opinion, right? Pre-pandemic, they were around 4 or 5%, I believe.
Yeah, pre-pandemic, they were around 4%, you know what I mean? So now, you know, talking to the lenders that I talk to, and like I said, the people that I use, Alex, they have to be like me. These guys better be on the ball, because look at how fast this industry is changing. They better answer their damn phones. They better have some products on tap for these guys, because they're going to get it. And to tell you the truth, those are the people that are really hurting, Alex. Those loan officers, no more refinances, okay, which was half of their business for the last 3 years.
Yes.
And their purchases are half of what they were, if not a third. So those guys better be on the ball, because they are the ones that their necks are on the line. Obviously, our necks are on the line too.
100%.
Them more so. We didn't have refinances. We just had sellers and buyers, right?
Yeah.
And we're always going to have sellers and buyers. But they had the refinances, and they were making just as much money on the refinances as they were the purchases.
I think a lot of lenders let go their book of business and the purchase side of the business, because they were so focused on refi, right? And I think that is turning around and biting a lot of these lenders.
It really is,
which is very unfortunate. I mean, I my heart goes out to them. I wish them all the best, but I do hope the rates stabilize a little bit, right? So yeah, but you never said, what do you think is the fair number?
Man, right now, fair number is 6.75 to 7. Okay. But Monday morning, I get a text from my number one lender in Sacramento. It jumped up 0.5% in the morning, which was the highest one-day jump in 21 years.
I heard.
That's terrible.
That's a lot. Do you think it'll creep into 8? Do you think it'll creep into 8?
I think there is a fair chance, because of what's going on Capitol Hill. I do think, unfortunately, that it could creep into the 8s. I hope not, because it's bad enough at 7 and at 7.5. And if it creeps into 8, man, I am really worried for this market if it creeps into the 8s.
Yeah, I think it'll creep into 8s, maybe 7.5. I think it'll be the new norm, at least till end of the year.
Yeah.
Maybe beginning first quarter next year, it might start, trickling down a little bit. What is your personal favorite loan product? Or what do you think is the best one out there? And I'm only asking you this because you have the lending experience, right?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, obviously you can't beat the conventional, but the FHAs, yes, they're a little bit more stringent, and they have a better, sometimes down payment. That's a lot of reasons that the people go with the FHA 3.5% down, but conventionals got, 3% down, 5% down. And unfortunately, I tried a VA the other day, and the VA appraiser did not do his job properly. And I did know that because I showed the appraisal to 5 different appraisers, and he used a comp that was 17 months old. And you are not supposed to be able to use anything over 12 months.
Okay. I thought that was kind of like everybody knew that.
Yeah. And so all of a sudden I'm going, and it cost us a lot of money, Alex. It really, really did. And so at the end of the day, I did send it to the VA. They are looking it over, but that's the one that I told you time is of the essence, as it is all the time. And so we had a lock in ready to expire, commission here, commission there, buyer come up a little bit more with some more cash. We made the seller happy. Alex, I don't know how we did this. And so guess what? We pulled it off. And my appraiser goes, I don't know how you did that, but you did good. And I said, at the end of the day, these sellers were motivated. They wanted that money in their pocket to go and try and purchase something out. They had already moved out of the area.
Yeah. And you know what? Giving up a little bit of, nobody's a fan of doing that, right? Giving up their commission. But at times, we are in a bind, and my heart goes out, because buying and selling a house is a stressful situation, right? I mean, for us, it might not be, but for somebody who doesn't do it on daily, well, it is for us too, but we might not show it. But for someone who's not doing it on daily, it can be very, very stressful, right? So at times, 100%. Like you said, there's nothing money can't solve, right? What's the dollar? What is it going to take? And let's see if we can all come to the table and make it happen. I think
exactly, because you do not want to. You've had those transactions where at night you're like, okay, what could I have done better? Could I have done better? And on this transaction, Alex, it was a referral from another buddy of mine in Oklahoma. So I went above and beyond and out of pocket. I cleaned the tile floors myself. My guy did. I cleaned the windows inside and out. I had the spa done up. I mean, we really went overboard on this house because I knew we could try and command a higher price, and then the appraiser put the kibosh to it.
And that's why you have how many reviews? Like 200 some odd reviews?
I have 200 5-star reviews on right now.
Dude, role model. 205 reviews. I think I'm hovering a little over 100 total, but sheesh, 205. Dude, so proud of you, man. I truly, if I want to change one thing or improve in my business, it's that level of customer service. I think I do go above and beyond, but I think you just take it to a whole new level. So massive respect. I really
thank you very much. I do appreciate that, Alex.
Yeah. So hey, let me ask you this. What are your thoughts on investing? I don't know if you invest. Do you do rentals? Do you have rentals?
Yeah.
Do you help clients?
I tell people, let's invest. And I said, I like I said, whenever I go somewhere, Alex, volleyball games, the Morgan Wallen concert on Sunday night, I meet new people. They're always asking me about the market, and they're asking me about investing. Is it a good time? And I said, it's always a good time to invest. And look at case in point. Right now, all these poor people do not have somewhere to go because they are asked out on the market. They can't qualify, or they do not want that $2,500 to $3,000 payment. And I get it. I was there. Okay.
I don't want a $3,000 payment. Shoot.
Exactly. So now I tell people, look, and I use a buddy of mine. He's got 100 rentals right now, and half of them are paid off. And he's got a list of 55 people that need to get in. So guess what? The rental market, they're not building enough. I mean, it's just the rental market is just crazier than I think the resale market right now, because all these people have to have a place to live.
Yeah, no, I'll give you a scenario. A building sold in Bakersfield for $575 a year and a half ago. Okay. This was when the interest rate were 3.493% on commercial or on multifamily. One just came up for sale, I want to say about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Priced at $599.
Whoa.
Right. So 25,000 more.
Yeah.
Year and a half. So there's appreciation. And that sold for a little over, I don't know the exact number because it hasn't closed yet, but over 600,000.
I believe it.
Right. And at 6.25% interest rate on multifamily.
Okay.
So I'm just like thinking people are still buying multifamilies. If the numbers pencil, the cash flow is there and there's room to increase rent. We don't want to gouge it, but whatever the fair number is, buy it, buy the damn thing and hold on to it.
Yeah, they're always asking me, Vinny, do you have any duplexes? Do you have any triplexes? And I said, those things go on the market and they are gone. So now I have an investor. She bought 2 multifamily units from me in the last 3 years. She goes, hey, let's change gears a little bit. Why don't we look Fresno, maybe around where the hospitals are? And if it's in a gated, make sure that short-term rentals are allowed in those. And I did find her one that was perfect, Alex. I called the HOA and they're like nothing short of 180 days. And I'm like, as far as rent, you know what I mean? So no short term, in other words. So we're going to look for another little house, either around Fresno State, in driving distance around the hospitals, which is a very good idea, you know, Children's Hospital, St. Agnes, and all that stuff, because people always need a place to stay.
Well, look, if she wants to invest in Bakersfield, plug me in. I'll take care of her too. And, you know, we'll take care of you as well.
You got it. She's
if you're too lazy to drive back and forth. Yeah. You know, this one's a little touchy question, right? One thing that you would change if you had the option to about the lending or the real estate industry, what would that be?
Man, that is a very good question. The lending business, I think, is good in the sense that they are lending to people who are fully qualified to be buying houses. And like I said, we're going to revert back to 08. Oh my goodness, we had the Ninas, we had the ARMs, and it really wasn't the right thing for these people to be doing, but they didn't care. So now here comes all these restrictions. And I get clients telling me, Vinny, they're asking me, and I said, look, they are the most important part of this transaction. You make sure, well, they're asking me for this. I said, that's their job, to make sure you are a viable buyer. And when they bundle those things and sell them on the secondary market, and I tried to explain to them how that works also, that they're not going to hold that note. They're going to sell it on the secondary market.
So okay.
Yeah. And so that is tough. About the real estate business, I wish more agents were a little bit more open to everybody, not just people in their own MLSs. And I won't mention any towns, but I come across like this to everybody. I'm very cordial. I think I know my business. Hey, what's going on with that house? And blah, blah, blah. And crickets. And very, very rude. We're in the same boat. There's plenty of business for everybody. Be cordial, be professional, answer your phone, answer your emails. If I'm calling you, pick up. That's all I ask. I just wish that more people were more open to everybody, not just their little niche of MLS people.
Amen to that, brother. Or at least call back within the first 24 hours, right?
100%. That irks my shorts, because you know me. You call me and I answer it in 2.2 seconds.
I know, man. I love that. I love that. Hey, I try to do the same thing. If I'm not with the client, I try to answer as much as
100%.
Absolutely. Hey, look, it's been a pleasure. We're running out of time over here. Is there anything else do you want to add? The markets you serve, and how can people get a hold of you?
I am serving Tulare County, Kings County, Fresno County, SLO counties, and obviously the Bakersfield side, I'm going to let you handle. How's that?
My man.
And I can always be reached at 559-804-6774, 24/7. Call me. Let's do business.
Hey, for people listening, call him at 2 a.m. See what he does. I'll bet he'll answer with a smile on his face. I love him. Man. I love it.
Nope.
Awesome, brother. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You have a great day out there.
You too. Thanks, Alex.